Hey everyone, welcome back to Brown Coat Nerd. Today we're going to be looking at some surplus, this time the Smith & Wesson M&P 9C. This is the 1.0 version. Atlantic Firearms was offering this. I picked this up in late August, so I do apologize. I dragged my feet. I wanted to shoot this one before I actually did a review of it for you, which I did, but in return of that, I got on their website right before making this video, and it does appear they're sold all out of this particular surplus. This is an Israeli police surplus. When I picked it up, it was on sale for $331. The regular listed price was $379. So my apologies for not getting this video out while they were still in stock. But if you're curious as to what they were, well, I've got a video for you, or who knows, they might get some more. However, with everything going on, I don't see Israel really kind of surplusing any more of their weapons off, at least for a while. So a few interesting things about this. Like I said, this is Israeli surplus. So even though it is a U.S. firearm, we do have an import mark. This one did come to us from Southern Tactical out of Virginia. It is kind of interesting because anytime I pick up an American gun that has an import mark, I always find it interesting. Basically, that means, while yes, it was built here in the U.S., it was then shipped overseas, and then after it was surplused out, it was shipped back into the U.S., and once it came back into the U.S., even though it originated originally from the U.S., that's when it got the import mark. And the only other American gun I have that has an import mark, interestingly enough, is another Smith & Wesson. This is a rather crude-looking 10-8 I picked up from Classic Firearms several years ago. And we are empty. I should have shown you that at the beginning. But this one also has an import mark. I don't know if you can see that very well, especially with my finger right in the way. But CAI is the importer of this one here. So I thought that was kind of interesting. This one, I'm still not 100% sure where it came from. A lot of people are saying it came out of Jordan, because it does have a JP on there. They're saying Jordanian police. Other people were saying Australia. Some people were saying France. And there's some other possibilities in there as well. So yeah, the only other American gun that I have that has U.S. import, also a Smith & Wesson. And then this is my second Israeli surplus handgun in the collection. The first one being the IWI Jericho 941. And in case you're wondering, wow, this is kind of a nerd channel and he's got a Jericho 941. Yes, of course I got it because of Cowboy Bebop. But I also am a big CZ75 fan. So double win on me for that one. So back to our Smith & Wesson M&P 9C. Like I said, this is Israeli surplus. Picked it up late August. I was able to grab it for $331. And it looks like Atlantic Firearms did sell out of these shortly thereafter. Now on the listing, it did say it may or may not come with this frame-mounted safety. I wasn't too concerned whether it would come with it or not, because these are actually fairly easy to remove. And you can either just remove the safety and leave a little hole in your frame. Smith & Wesson does also offer little plugs to put in there as well. I've been looking around. I have not found those plugs. I found install videos, so I know they do exist. I don't know if this is something that they don't actually list for sale. Their website's not really set up like Beretta's website, where it kind of shows everything they have for sale. So this might have to be something I email them, and then they get back with me. I've heard people say they're like $2 to $4, so pretty cheap. And I might as well just wait until I get the plugs for when I remove that safety, so it at least looks nice and clean. Also, just a little extra reinsurance so I don't get any dust bunnies or pocket fuzz or anything like that jammed down in there. So as you can see, this one did come with the safety. Another very interesting thing I was rather curious about is whether the mag would come with the flush fit mag or the one with the pinky extension. The way they had this pictured, like their logo is right down there. So it kind of cut off the bottom of the mag. I was really hoping for a flush fit mag, so I'm glad I got that. I did not want the pinky extension. If I'm going to do a pinky extension, I might as well get like a +1 or +2 base plate and put it on there. I do plan on pocket carrying this, or more specifically jacket and coat pocket carrying this, excuse me, with the winter months quickly approaching, I decided I might as well get something a little bit thicker than what I'm used to wearing. I've got a Glock 43 that I use to pocket carry. That easily fits into my shorts pockets, even my jean pockets. It's not super obvious. Looks like I just kind of have a large cell phone. I do use a DeSantis pocket holster. So I kind of wanted something a little bit thicker, since I will have that extra pocket space with my jackets and coats. Also, a little bit easier to grip, a little more comfortable, better to control, God forbid I have to use it. And obviously a slightly higher round count, which is always going to be nice. So as you can see, I did get the flush fit mag. The other thing I found very interesting is on the Atlantic Firearms website, they did list this as an 11+1 firearm, meaning 11 rounds in the mag, plus 1 with 1 in the chamber. However, almost all the reviews I watched on this stated it had a 12+1 ammo capacity. I did come across one, maybe two videos where they did state 11+1, so I didn't know if this was maybe something early production, that it was an 11+1. I could see like a 10 round capacity, you know, for states that only allowed 10 rounds in the mag, but I thought 11 was a really weird cutoff number, so I was rather curious about that. So when it showed up, we can see it says 11, but it also says 12 on the other side. So this is a 12+1 round mag. It is pretty difficult to get that last round jammed in there. And you can see, I mean, this gun is used. When I got it, it was dirty. You could see that there's carbon on the feed ramp, but overall pretty decent mechanically wise, at least shape. So I don't think it was fired a whole heck of a lot, so maybe this mag just needs to be broken. 12th round's not the easiest to get in there. And then when you load it with the slide closed and you've got 12 rounds in there, I mean, you really have to jam that puppy in there. However, when I'm going to be pocket carrying this, I am going to be chambering it. Of course, I guess I'll be topping it off, so I still will run into that issue. Now, when I took it to the range, I loaded up with the slide closed, racked it, shot it. Everything seemed to function fine. A few times I did pop the mag back out after loading around, topped off the mag, so I'd be shooting it just like I'd be carrying it. And I had zero issues with this guy. I shot just over 50 rounds. I also got my Glock 43. I kind of wanted to do a side-by-side comparison of the two. Controllability, even though this is a short grip, and I've got small hands, so keep that in mind if you got large mitts on you. I can't get my pinky on there, and I've got medium to small size hands. This was very controllable. It's got a decent amount of weight to it, and it was very accurate. Just holding this gun, it just feels solid, you know? It feels really nice. So I was looking at getting a Glock 26 once the winter months came around. If you've watched many of my videos or heard me talk about Glocks, I kind of despise them. Not because I think they're crappy guns, but because they're ugly. There's just nothing pleasing to the eye about them. I think they're good guns. They're like the Toyota Camry from the 1990s. There's nothing special about them, but they will do their job and they will do it well. Like I said, my standard pocket carry gun is a Glock 43. So I actually was looking around trying to find a surplus Glock 26. At the time, all I was coming across were the 40 caliber model. I forget what model number that is. The 26 is the 9mm. And I specifically did want a 9mm just to have a few extra rounds in there, especially with it being a slightly shorter frame. A little bit easier controllability, not that 40's too whippy in my personal opinion. But 9 is what I wanted. And at the time I couldn't find any, and I stumbled across this guy on Atlantic Firearms. I was like, ooh, I've always liked the look of the M&P. I'm not the biggest fan of striker fire. That's my personal preference. I'm not the biggest fan of a polymer frame gun unless I'm going to be carrying it, which in this case I absolutely am. And really the same thing for striker fire. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I prefer double action, single action. But in the case of something I'm going to be carrying, or even for home defense, in that heat of the moment, I don't want to think about how long is the trigger going to pull on this one, how short will it be on the next one. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't shoot every weekend like I used to. I don't train a lot, especially with my wide gun collection. It's kind of one of the downfalls of having a large gun collection is you don't really shoot any one gun a whole bunch, because I'm always trying out something new. So in that case, striker fire is a really good option. So this definitely appealed to me. Like I said, I've always liked the look of the M&P. I've wanted an M&P 9mm 1.0 version, once again, because I'm a freaking nerd, and early on in the show, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., if you're a Marvel fan, Agent Coulson and his gang, they were using the Smith & Wesson M&Ps before they switched to that stupid fictional night-night gun or whatever. So, added bonus for me once again there. So I decided to go ahead and pick this up. Once again, these do have interchangeable back straps, so I was also curious about which size I was going to get. I did end up getting the medium size back strap. One of the things I'm very curious about, and I'm hoping that maybe some of my viewers out there can help me out on, is, so also another reason I jumped on this, looking around, I was like, well, do I want the 1.0? How much more expensive is the 2.0C? You know, maybe I should just go ahead and spend a few more bucks and get the upgraded version. I cannot find the 2.0C. I was finding a 2.0 compact, which obviously that's what the C stands for in this gun. But that gun has a longer grip. And I was like, crap, I don't really want that. I want the option to add a longer mag, but I also want the option to go with a short grip if I need to. So I was thinking they had discontinued the C, replaced it with the compact, and gave it a slightly longer grip. So that's another reason I kind of quickly jumped on that, on getting this deal. Since ordering this gun, I have discovered that this model is still available in the 2.0 format. They simply changed the name to a more fitting name for a gun of this size, and it is now the Subcompact 2.0. And that's this gun. So, oops. Once again, looking around on prices, I didn't find a whole lot of used Subcompact 2.0s. Knew they were going for anywhere between $500 to $600. So I still got a good deal on this one. The added benefits of the 2.0 to me, I don't think are that huge. So I was fine going with this 1.0. So on that note, when you would buy one of these 9Cs brand new, it would come with 3 back straps. Now this is the medium one in there. It fits my hands perfectly fine. I think the large for this would be too much. I think the small would be too small. However, the Subcompact 2.0 comes with 4 back straps, and it has a medium large back strap. So there's a back strap that's between the sides of this one and the largest back strap that this one came with. And I kind of feel like I could go for one that's slightly larger, as well as it's got much more aggressive texturing on that 2.0. This one's not bad. Like I said, shooting it was 100% controllable. I don't think I'll have an issue with that. So I don't necessarily need the more aggressive texture on here. However, that wouldn't hurt. And like I said, I feel like one just slightly bigger than what's on here would be more comfortable for me. So my question is, will the Subcompact 2.0 backstrap work on the 1.0C? Looking at images, it looks like there is a slight difference. The 2.0, it looks like this backstrap does not come all the way down to this little plug slash tool. So there might be a little bit of a gap in there. I might be able to live with that. However, it looks like it does come a little bit further forward than this one does. So if anyone out there has tried putting the Subcompact 2.0 back straps on the older 9C 1.0, let me know. Did it work? Another thing is this gun. Like I said, you do got a variety of magazines. This is the full-size M&P 17 round mag. If it's in there, I did shoot it just like this, and it was actually pretty comfortable. But yes, X-Grips does sell a little insert that will fill that in, and I do plan on getting one of those just to make it more comfortable for when I'm wearing my larger Carhartt. But they now have a 15 round mag for that 2.0 compact model, so it sticks out just a little bit more. Now the 2.0 subcompact comes with an insert that will work with your 17 round mag. Also comes with a mag insert or mag sleeve that will work on the 15 round mag that sticks out just a little bit. Now, I've seen places say that that insert will not work on the older ones. I don't know why it wouldn't. Once again, minor trimming, just a little bit of work here and there. That's fine. I can make that work. Has anyone tried one of the 15 round mag sleeves using it on the older 1.0 version that we have here? I've seen some people online say, yes, it absolutely will work. I've seen some people say, yes, it will work. However, you need to change this guy, which is a little plug plus a tool that pulls out. I saw one guy said he had actually changed this out before using the different back strap. I've seen other people say, no, it won't work even if you get the little plug slash tool doohickey. So, in case anyone out there is watching has had experience with this, let me know before I go willy-nilly spending money on crap that doesn't work on my gun. I would appreciate it. Now, once again, going back to the listing for this gun from Atlantic, it was listed in NRA condition, very good to excellent. There's no major marks on this. Now, when I first got this was completely caked up. It almost looked like rust, but when I wiped it off, I kind of think it was actually like grease. And then it was also jammed down in the nooks and crannies of the slight serrations. You can see just a little bit of it on the bottom of that sight there. Lots of dirt that I still need to wipe off. We do got a pretty good ding right there, which I could just use some Illuma Blue or magic marker to fill that in. However, I do plan on changing out these sights with the same sights that I got on my Glock. Which, what were those? Were those I think they're True Glow. It's a Tritium sight, also has a fiber optic, so you get the advantages of you know, lights up during the day, lights up at night. Pretty happy with those sights, but I plan on putting those on here. I did look online, and yes, they do make them for this gun. But overall, pretty good shape. We got a little bit of a mark there, nothing bad. There was a bit of plastic kind of hanging off, a very small, like almost plastic splinter. I was able just to scrape that the rest of the way off with my fingernail. And then the back of the beaver tail is kind of chewed up there. This side of the safety is also a little bit chewed up. But that's all stuff very minor. I'm not too concerned about it. And I still need to get a little bit of dust out of here as well. Now, like I said, when I first got it, I can tell it had not been cleaned since it was last shot. However, mechanically, it appeared to be in pretty good shape once I did clean it up. And which reminds me, I still need to clean this up since I haven't cleaned it up since shooting. Like I said, shooting, very controllable. I was very happy with the accuracy. The trigger pull on it, which is one of the things that people complain about a lot on these guns, especially the 1.0. Apparently that trigger did get improved for the 2.0. I don't think it was too bad, especially for a carry gun. The average of 5 trigger pulls came to 5 pounds 4 ounces. And like 2 or 3 of those were right at 5 pounds 7.5 ounces. So very consistent. I got a few lighter trigger pulls in there, so it brought the average down. But in doing these trigger pull tests, I typically don't see the exact same weight reappear more than once. And it was right at 5 pounds, 7.5 ounces for 3 of those trigger pulls. So I kind of found that rather interesting. Once again, we are empty. This does have the hinge trigger, which I'm not a very big fan of. I might be changing that out for the, I think Apex does sell a trigger replacement. I'm going to stick with a polymer trigger because obviously I will be carrying this in the winter months. And I don't want that trigger to be super cold when I have to go use it. And I've seen some people complain about the reset, saying it's not very audible. And then other people saying that theirs is fine. This one does have a very audible and tactile reset, I guess you could say. You can feel it. The wall, it's not super defined. I'll show you that reset one more time. It's right about there somewhere. You got a little bit of creep, a little more creep. Yeah, so the wall's not super defined. Not a huge deal to me. I'm probably not going to do it like an actual trigger upgrade. I do kind of like this super curved trigger. However, I have had other guns that have a very curved trigger like that, and after a very long day at the range, you will get a blister on your finger from that. However, I do plan on shooting with this gun a lot just so I could get a good feel for it. The main purpose of this gun is life or death scenario, you know, in a couple shots, not a whole day at the range. So with just a few shots, I do like that curved trigger. I know the Apex one that I've been looking at, that's all polymer, isn't as curved. So I don't know, it's not a huge deal to me. And actually shooting this, I've only had it out that one time. It didn't feel that bad to me. Years ago when I first got into firearms, do not laugh, I did have a Smith & Glock, better known as the SDVE. It was the 40 caliber one. And that had the same kind of hinge trigger. However, that one, from my memory, was like way worse than that. I was new at guns, didn't really know what a trigger feel should feel like, but I knew that one felt like crap, and I was not a fan. This one didn't really bug me, though. So, I don't know, I might just end up leaving it. I do plan on getting that 15-round mag. Hopefully I'll figure out if the newer 2.0 mag sleeve will work on that 15-round mag. I'll be getting the X-Grip mag sleeve because I know that one does work on the 1.0 for the 17-round mag. They do now offer I think it's a 23-round mag for one of the Smith & Wesson carbines. I'll probably eventually end up getting that just for range days. I don't know why, but since it's an option, I'll probably get it. And wait, before we forget, this does weigh more than the Glock 43. Obviously, I meant to say Glock 26 that I was thinking about getting instead of this. So, empty with the flush fit 12-round mag, we come to 1 pound, 9.1 ounces. So if you're wearing a real light jacket, it is going to definitely pull on that jacket. I've got kind of a light windbreaker that I have taken this out once so far in pocket carry, and I put my phone and my keys in the other pocket to try to counteract that. I was just walking the dog, so it wasn't a very long walk, so it wasn't too bad. However, I don't see myself doing that for like several hours. This is definitely more of a coat pocket carry rather than a light jacket. So this will definitely be getting used with my Carhartts. Like I said, I'm going to plan on changing the sights. And that's really probably it. I'll figure out what I'm going to do with that trigger. And once again, that safety's going. Whether or not I find the plug for the frame, time will tell on that. So, with that, I'm really happy with this purchase. Like I said, handling this gun, it just feels very solid. Feels very well built. I am actually somewhat eager to get a full-sized M&P now. I have been wanting one of those, like I said, since watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because I'm a nerd. Don't really need one for my collection. I've got my Beretta APX first gen. That's a polymer full-size striker fire gun. I guess I'll be doing a comparison video if I end up getting both. But this just, it feels like a really well-built gun. I'm a fan of it. Like I said, I'll probably end up getting another M&P series of some sort or another. Alright, so that is all I've got for you on this one. I do hope you guys enjoyed my video. Please go check out my Rumble as well as my Instagram. And of course, as always, stay safe and stay shiny.